So Jayoma, the viral lawyer out of Houston, told the world that he wants to take David's case for free. And in the same breath, he looked dead into the camera and said Celeste Rivas, the 14-year-old girl who was dead, came after David, like she was the aggressor.
Those are just allegations. This girl came after him to attack him. So from what I'm seeing, it looks like he is a victim of success.
I need y'all to sit with that for a second. A grown man, a lawyer, on camera, calling a dead 14-year-old girl a threat. And here's where I take issue, because we're not talking about a he said, she said situation. We're talking about a case where a 14-year-old girl ended up dismembered in a Tesla trunk, and somebody's out here calling her the problem. But before we get into it, show the channel some love, hit the sub button, hit the like button, hype this video up, cue the clip.
This that raymundoreacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.
So here's what happened, and I want to dive into this before we talk about Jayoma, because I think a lot of people are getting caught up in the legal drama and losing sight of what this is really about. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was 14 years old, a kid from Lake Elsinore, California. Her parents came from El Salvador. According to prosecutors, she first met David Burke when she was 11 years old, and they allegedly entered a sexual relationship when she was 13 and he was 18. Now here's where the evidence starts piling up. Prosecutors say she was Ubered from her house to his address, and after that Uber dropped her off, she was never seen alive again. Her remains were found months later in the front trunk of his Tesla in a tow yard. A tow yard worker called because of a smell. And if that wasn't enough,
Right? And then that's when I step in and start doing my work.
He has the criminal defense lawyer, Blair, but she represented Harvey Weinstein during his case and everything. My question is, with the evidence that the prosecutors have against him, where they have sexual messages and sexual photos exchanged between the two, which would obviously be CSAM. They also have against him being the last person to be in contact because she was Ubered from her home over to him, and then after that she was not seen alive. They also see in his transactions where he bought 2 chainsaws, an incinerator, bought shovels, and he also bought a blue inflatable pool where the fragment from the inflatable pool that he purchased also matches on her body.
2 chainsaws ordered under a fake alias on Amazon, a body bag, a burn cage, a shovel, a blue inflatable kiddie pool, and the fragments from that pool, they match fragments found on her body. He also sent text messages to her phone after she was dead to make it look like she was still alive. There was a finger with his name tattooed on it that got amputated. Prosecutors say to distance himself from the victim. On top of that, they have 40 terabytes of evidence against this man. Real talk, that's not a case that needs more context. The evidence is doing all the talking. But before I break down Jayoma's defense strategy, and I promise you some of what he says is gonna literally make your head spin, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It literally takes 2 seconds and it helps this video get in front of more people who need to be a part of this conversation. Alright, back to it. So now comes Jayoma. Alain Jayoma is a Houston-based criminal defense attorney. He's viral for a reason. He gets results. And I'm not here to clown on the man's skills, because what he's able to do in a courtroom is not a game. Here's proof.
Who's the best lawyer?
Jayoma.
And why am I the best lawyer?
I mean, you gave me probation on my criminal case.
All right. And what were you charged with?
Aggravated assault, deadly weapon.
And how much prison time are you looking at?
20 years.
Okay. And did this case go to trial?
Yes, it did.
And during that trial, did the prosecutor show a video of you shooting somebody 3 times?
Yep, it did. Shot him 2 times in the stomach, 1 in the arm.
What the hell?
All right. And were you found guilty on this case?
Yes.
All right. And now during the punishment phase of your case, did I remain fighting for you?
Yes, you did.
All right. And while I was fighting for you, how much time was the prosecutor asking this jury to give you?
20.
All right.
20 years.
20 years in prison, right?
Yep.
And after my arguments, what was the result of me convincing that jury to give you as a punishment?
Probation.
All right. And are you happy with the results?
Yeah.
All right. And just to put it together, you got probation for shooting somebody 3 times on camera, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, he's the best. He's the GOAT. You need any help, call Jayoma.
Yeah, you heard that right. His client shot somebody 3 times on camera. He was like, oh, my bad. I got a little bit carried away. But nonetheless, the camera was right there on him. And Jayoma turned 20 years into probation. Not self-defense. They didn't even claim self-defense. Just a better lawyer. So when Jayoma says he can defend David, he's not talking out his ass. He is genuinely confident and one of the most dangerous people you can have in a courtroom, whether you're the prosecutor or the victim's family. But here's where the real disconnect starts. Because Jayoma's skill in the courtroom, well, that's one thing. What he's saying about this case is something else entirely. And we gotta break that down piece by piece, because Jayoma is running these theories publicly, and every single one has a problem. Theory 1, Celeste was the aggressor.
Whatever motive they have, I'm gonna attack that, because what I'm gonna be looking at is the girl probably has motive to make shit up. The girl probably has motive to utilize her position in his life to capitalize on somebody who's up and coming. We see that in Shannon Sharp, who was a victim. What was that girl that took a lot of money from him? When people become a public figure, just like you and I, athletes, singers, even actors, that it opens up an opportunity for them to like have a gun to their head, to say, get me this Rolls Royce, get me this Rolex. If you don't get it to me, there's gonna be consequences. And you know what those consequences are gonna be. And so anybody can be put in that position, even you. And it's unfortunate that I believe David has to go through this at this point in his career.
So the argument is Celeste had a motive to extort David, that she was gonna destroy his career and use leverage over him, that she was the threat. See, here's where things aren't adding up for your boy. Celeste was 14 years old. What leverage could she possibly have? She had trauma. There's a difference. And prosecutor says she texted him days before his album dropped saying that she wanted more out their relationship. That's not extortion. That sounds like a teenager who thought she was in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just sad. So the idea that she was running this scheme to shake him down doesn't sit right. And let's not forget, 40 terabytes connecting him to her death. That's a narrative, not a defense. Theory 2, maybe somebody set him up.
So the prosecutors are saying that so there wasn't going to be a mess. David put her body in a blue inflatable pool to keep all the blood in there. And the fragments from the blue inflatable pool that David bought matched the fragments found on her body.
That could be anybody. Because think about it, not only is David a potential victim for any of the young girls, but he could be a potential victim for anybody ancillary to that, right? So say, for example, he disrespected an up-and-coming rapper. They're going to want to put this murder on him, right? So let the prosecutors attack him instead of them attacking him personally. Because if you think about it, that is actually a good strategy. If I want to get after David because he disrespected me, because he didn't buy me my soda, or he didn't get me a cheeseburger that I asked for, or he just looked at me wrong, or he said my song sucks because I sang for him, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to get this dude. I'm going to put his DNA. I'm going to set some shit up. I'm going to get that dead body, and I'll plan on him. So then, therefore, they can put all the state's power, all the prosecutor's power into trying to put him away. It's like you're getting somebody else to do your dirty work for you. And that's a good possibility that could have happened to David.
I mean, I don't know how some people can sleep at night, but I digress. Because Jayoma suggested on camera that somebody could have wanted to frame David by getting a dead body and planting it in his Tesla and orchestrating the entire thing to take that man down.
I do not believe you.
Which means we need someone who had access to his Amazon account, placed orders under his fake alias, got her body in the Tesla, accessed his phone to send text messages as if she was still alive, and then somehow get him to not notice the smell coming out of his Tesla for months. That's not a theory, that's a movie. Theory 3, his race will work against him. So use it.
What is the biggest hurdle of this case that you can see?
He's black.
Come again?
He's black. That's a big hurdle. No, dude. All right, anybody listening? I'm in Charles. Like, do you know the color of your skin? It still poses a threat. It really does. Like, there are people who will find you guilty just by the look of your face. And when they say the look of your face, it don't mean your nose, your lips, your eyes. It's the color of your skin. And that's like a reality that's out there.
So would you take this case a racial route?
It might be possible to include that because it's something that I would say potential jurors, if they're going to be on your case, that they can't shake off. There are some people who are still mad about slavery being overturned. There's some people who are still mad about interracial dating.
And look, I'm not going to pretend that systemic bias doesn't exist in the justice system, because it does. That's not even a debate. But here's the thing, the way Jayoma's framing it, it's not about framing injustice for an innocent man. It's about finding a lever, any lever, something to plant in the back of the mind of a juror. And maybe that's what defense attorneys do. Maybe that's the job. But Celeste Rivas is still dead. And framing a 14-year-old as a manipulator while using racial tension as a courtroom strategy, that's just a strategy. But that's just my opinion.
I'll fight everything. I'm going to be one of those attorneys where I don't care what allegations that they have against my client. I'm always going to fight it, no matter how bad shit gets, you know?
So you wouldn't even concede with because they have him on child abuse, like having a sexual relationship with a minor. So you wouldn't even concede that point if you were his lawyer.
Oh, F no. I would not concede to that.
No plea, fighting everything, including the part where an 18-year-old had a documented sexual relationship with a 13-year-old that ended up in his trunk. Here's what this really comes down to. And this is bigger than David. It's bigger than Jayoma. The criminal justice system is not built to find the truth. It's built to determine what can be proven, or more specifically, what cannot be disproven beyond a reasonable doubt. That's not me being cynical. That's literally the structure. And Jayoma understands that better than almost anybody.
And so I'm always going to fight no matter how bad shit gets. And right now, in regards to David, shit's looking bad. Okay? And it's always going to look bad in the beginning. But I'm always going to be able to try to fight and show like the truth, which is he's a victim here.
No surrender, no retreat. His client's the victim.
You a piece of shit.
That's the story from day one, and he's gonna stick to it from jury selection all the way through closing arguments.
The other thing, the disadvantages that I see in this case is that he never called me. If he would have called me or his family would have reached out to me, I'll take that case. David, if you're listening, I'll take your case for free. If you reach out to my office, Jayoma Law Firm, I will take your case for free. Don't forget that, and it's recorded.
It's recorded. He said it publicly. He wants this case. 40 terabytes of evidence. A 1.5 year investigation. A body in a trunk. Amazon receipts. A fake alias. A blue kiddie pool with matching fragments. A finger with his name on it that got amputated. Text messages that were sent from a dead girl's phone. And yet, there's a legitimate chance that a skilled attorney with no time constraints, a compelling counting narrative, and the ability to attack how the evidence was collected could create just enough doubt for a jury. We already know that's a possibility.
And just to put it together, you got probation for shooting somebody 3 times on camera, right?
Yes, sir.
3 times on camera, probation. So Jayoma offering this case for free, beyond the clout, beyond the viral moment, is a signal. It means somebody who knows this system better than most saw 40 terabytes of evidence and thought there's a path. And if that path works, a 14-year-old girl is dead with no one being held accountable. Now I'm asking you, as somebody watching this, does that sit right with you? Because that's the real conversation that this video is about. Not whether Jayoma is a good lawyer, because he is. Not whether David deserves a defense. Everybody does. The question is, what happens to justice when the system gets played by someone better at the game than the people prosecuting? Jayoma described going to trial like a boxing match, like a basketball game. He literally said that. It's a game, and it's his job to win. And maybe that's true from a legal standpoint. Maybe that's exactly how it has to work. But Celeste Rivas Hernandez wasn't a game piece. She was 14. She had a family. She had a brother who watched her disappear 3 times. And she still trusted somebody who allegedly murdered her, ordered chainsaws, and then texted from her phone to cover it up. So here's why I'm leaving it. When Jayoma takes that case for free, the system is going to be tested in front of all of us. In your opinion, mine, the internet, it means nothing when 14 people walk into a jury box. What would you do if you were in that jury box with all that evidence in front of you? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button to the right and to the left. More dope content. Until next time, I'm out.
This that Raymundo reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stayed for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.